Hello everyone and welcome to my next Danganronpa video on the channel. This is the part 2 to what is now a 3-part series on what if Kaede Akamatsu survived Danganronpa V3. To give you a bit of background, Kaede is a fan favorite character and many people were gutted when she got executed, which is why so many people have written fan fictions where she survives. And in a previous video, I have done a timeline where Kaede survives and Shuichi is executed instead of her. And in this video, I'm going to see what if Kaede and Shuichi survive together. So let's get started. Chapter 1 goes pretty much the same up until the trial. Now, in canon, Shuichi was the primary suspect up until Kaede pressured the others to admit that she did it. However, this timeline will start similarly to 3-Point Shot, where Kaede was about to be declared the culprit up until Kokichi raised an objection allowing Kaede to challenge Monokuma to allow Shuichi to examine the girl's bathroom, leaving Tsumugi a blubbering mess and causing her to accidentally out herself. With this new information, everybody votes for Tsumugi Shirogane as the first to be executed, throwing a wrench into what was once the mastermind's plans. So now we move on to Chapter 2. Since Kaede is here, and she almost died, this is going to take a big hit on her personality. She's probably not going to want to be the leader of the group anymore, and Kaito will take her place, as he did in canon. She will join up with him, Maki, and Shuichi in the training quartet. So Chapter 2 probably wouldn't change that much. So Ryoma would still die, and Kirumi would still get executed. Now, even though Ryoma might not see his video, Kaede might stop him from doing that, he'd still get murdered by Kirumi because she saw her own motive video. Kirumi believes that if she gets executed, all of Japan would fail because it said she was the prime minister. But unfortunately for her, Kirumi still gets executed anyway, and her entire country likes watching her suffer because it's Danganronpa. Alright, Chapter 3 now. This is where things start to get interesting. As we know, Angie still dies. The Necronomicon motive is what led to her execution in the first place. Now, to understand the second victim, we need to understand the black end of this case, Korekio Shinguchi. His motive is his sister, and he wants to kill only women for the sake of his sister. So that means Gonta, Kaito, Kibo, Kokichi, himself, and Shuichi are safe because they're all men. Maki and Mew are also safe because he doesn't like them. Maki is too dark and Mew is too vulgar. That leaves Himiko, Kaede, and Tenko. In the last video, a commenter pointed out that Kaede could be a target for Kyo because during his free time events, Kyo mentioned that Kaede would be a good friend for his sister. After watching his free time events, it's true. Kyo and Kaede talked, and she even agreed to be friends with his sister. So Kyo could absolutely target Kaede, but with Shuichi here, and the two of them practically glued to each other, there's no way that Korekio could target Kaede without Shuichi knowing. So, out of the remaining two, who gets killed? I believe it's Himiko. Why? Well, Himiko would probably volunteer for the seance to prove to the others that she's an actual mage and not some parlor magician that performs tricks. Obviously, given that this is Danganronpa, Himiko would fail and she dies, proving to the others that she is not a mage. And obviously, of course, Korekio is still screwed, no matter what happens. Alright, Chapter 4. In the original timeline, Kokichi had manipulated Gonta to kill Mew. And in the first timeline, Kokichi had manipulated Tenko to kill Gonta. Now, Gonta still dies, but Tenko doesn't kill him because Shuichi is here. If you don't know, in canon, in Chapter 2, Shuichi is able to break through Tenko's shell, allowing him to reveal to her that her Aikido master is a male as well, basically blowing her mind and breaking the stereotype from Tenko that all men are monsters, are perverted monsters. Sure, there are some exceptions like Kokichi, but not many of the others are perverted, especially not Gonta, who wants to be a gentleman. So if Tenko doesn't kill Gonta, who does? Well, unfortunately for the training quartet, I believe Kokichi would out Maki, because Kokichi would probably blackmail Maki and probably squeak out that she is not the ultimate child caregiver, but instead the ultimate assassin. This sucks out all hope from Kaito, allowing despair to set in. So Maki is executed and we move on. Alright, chapter 5, and we are down to the final 7. Kaede, Kaito, Kibo, Kokichi, Miu, Shuichi, and Tenko. Now, in this timeline, since Kaito is in despair mode with Maki gone, he will go instead of the chapter 5 black end to the chapter 5 victim, meaning Kaito is killed in the Exisals, but who is piloting them if Kaito dies. In the original, Kokichi and Kaito were in the Exisals. However, in this timeline, I personally think that Miu would be the one piloting the Exisals, because she could very easily override Kokichi's remote that he stole from her and create a new one to pilot the Exisals herself. And so with that, Miu is executed, and we are down to the final 5 for chapter 6. Kaede, Kibo, Kokichi, Shuichi, and Tenko. Now, if Tsumugi was executed all the way back in chapter 1, who is the mastermind of this killing game? Well, I think the answer is Kokichi Oma, the ultimate supreme leader. Sorry, Kokichi. But let's go over the facts. 1, he's a habitual liar. The dude lies out of his ass pretty much every day in the entire game. Also, Kokichi loves teasing a lot of people, especially Kibo and Shuichi. Now, for Shuichi, whether Kokichi actually has a thing for him, I don't know. But for Kibo, it's fully malicious. And third, his actions placed a lot of suspicion on his trail. And so, Kokichi is executed as the mastermind, and Kibo blows himself up to save his friends, probably even more maliciously this time because it's Kokichi, the guy who bullied him, leaving the survivors to be Kaede, Shuichi, and Tenko. Well, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you want to stay up to date on all my latest content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.